Working with Errors in Student Writing by Vanessa Marquez, Gloria Davila, and Gracie Gonzalez.
Teacher instruction is important to promote the competence of a student's writing. Promoting writing competence in the students is very important because writing is used on a daily basis. Writing is a necessary component needed to write letters, essays, reports, etc. The main thing teachers need to focus on is explicit instruction. Teachers should focus on both the content and structure of an essay, while also focusing on small details such as grammar, punctuation, and spelling. To address errors within student writing, it is the teacher's responsibility to evaluate one of their students' pieces of writing and address the different types of errors. One strategy that teachers can use to help them is a checklist to make sure all errors are detected.
The three main goals in writing development are fluency, form, and correctness. The students need to receive instruction in all areas so there can be a balance between the three. The purpose of this model is to keep all three goals in mind when teaching the students. The teacher should teach one student at a time depending on the student's individual needs and the phase in which the student is writing.
Scaffolding allows the teacher to help students transition from assisted task to independent performances. For example, the writing routine itself provides a scaffold. Students know that they are going to edit their work for grammar, spelling, and punctuation after they are satisfied with the content.
Go for the moon.
Students imitate models of effective writing, speaking, reading, and problem solving. For example, the teacher may model a certain type of sentence pattern that has correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation. When teachers grade students for work, they are also following a model correctness guide as well. Direct instruction is a direct approach to teaching. It is skill-oriented, and the teaching practices it implies are teacher-directed. Lessons are often centered around the use of small groups or face-to-face instruction.
When brainstorming different ideas for writing instruction in your classroom, it is important to get to know every one of your students on a personal level. What are their individual levels of English language proficiency and literacy? Take into consideration their home languages, cultures, and prior schooling. Are they able to express themselves in their home language? Once you have gained some background knowledge on your student, you will then be able to tailor the writing instruction to your student's needs. Differentiating instruction is usually based on assessed student needs. Some tools you may use to evaluate your student's writing include the Elements of Good Writing table. To use the Elements of Good Writing table, you would read through your student's writing and then, based on the 5 key elements of good writing, which are lead, focus, voice, show not tell, and ending, you would determine where the student's strong points of the paper are and where the weakest points of their paper are. That way, you can later help them build on sections that may have been weak in their writing. Another tool for assessing writing you may choose to use is the Scale of Writing Development. The Scale of Writing Development breaks the student's writing up into levels along with the characteristics of the student writing that fit into those different levels. When you have evaluated what level your student is at, you can then see what the next level of development might be for each student. For example, if the child is at level 1 where they attempt to write scribbles or draw patterns, how can we get them to level 2? Scaffolding framework may be used to illustrate a differentiated lesson. There are 4 elements to focus on when illustrating your lesson. The elements include who, which group of specific students will your lesson be targeting? What is the activity these students will be performing? How will this lesson be implemented? And finally, how well are the students going to be assessed to determine how well they are doing?